ಯಾಕ್ರಿ ಯಾರು ಅಟೆಂಡ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ ಕ್ಲಾಸಸ್? Is this the same case in other division also, other classes also?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine, no problem. We will cover the portion quickly. So welcome back students to another session of design of pre-stressed concrete elements in JCE Connect. We were studying the fourth module, that is design of shear. So we have learned how to analyze rectangular concrete pre-stressed beams for shear. Okay, shear stresses. We have learned how to find out the maximum and minimum principal stresses uh, in these kind of beams. Okay, so I hope you remember this particular formula for calculation of Fy. Calculation of Fy, that is calculation of stress in the vertical direction, normal stress in the vertical direction. Okay, so this is the formula. P vertical, that is the stress that is there in the vertical direction that we apply. P, the pre-stressing force that is applied in the vertical direction, divided by B, that is width of the beam, into spacing of the stirrups. Okay, or spacing of the cables, whatever is provided, you can apply over here. So this is the formula. You can try to solve this in your home. So moving on to next type of problem, that is we will look into how to solve a I section. You can see here you have an PSC beam I section over here. So the cross sectional area is given to us directly. Okay, the cross sectional area is given to us directly, no problem. Okay, instead of all calculations and all, they have given us directly. So I, what is I? Moment of inertia, that is also given to us, no need of any calculations. Moment of inertia is also given. Statical moment about the centroid. So what is this statical moment about the centroid? This is nothing but A into y bar. Right, you have a formula for tau wherein we have a vu a y bar by ib. Right, so this particular term a into y bar they have given directly. This particular first modulus, first moment of area, it is a y bar is given to us directly. Okay, so web thickness is 50, which, sorry, it is 50, it is 50, I think. Right, this is 50, this is not 80, this is 50. Web thickness is 50. It is pre-stressed by 24 wires of 5 mm dia. 24 wires of 5 mm dia and vertical by similar wires. Okay, so we have horizontal wires, 24 number of horizontal pre-stressing wires of 5 mm dia each, 5 mm dia. And also similar wires we have in the vertical direction also for applied as pre-stress in vertical direction. Okay, and they are spaced at 150 mm center to center. So the number of bars, number of wires are not given. They have told that we are using the same 5 mm dia bars and they are spaced at a distance of 150 mm center to center. Okay, so I have told you this particular formula, right, wherein we require spacing of these cables or stirrups. So they have given to us the spacing, that is how much, 150. 150 spacing is given, and this particular force we need to calculate later. Okay, so instead of giving numbers in vertical direction, they have to give you the spacing. Okay, so they have provided us with the spacing of the vertical pre-stressing wires, no problem. Next, all wires carry an effective tensile stress of 900 Newton per mm square. All wires carry an effective tensile stress of 900. So they have given us the value of Fy. So they have given us stress. Okay, stress. If they had told us it is a force, then we would have considered P. But this is not force, this is stress. Then that is why we have considered this as Fy. Okay. Calculate the principal stress when shear force of 80 kilonewton is acting on the section. Shear force is also given to us, that is V. Okay, so all the data that we require is clearly given to us. Now just we have to substitute and we have to calculate. So the first thing that you have to do is calculation of the pre-stressing force, calculation of the stresses, Fx, Fy, and tau V. Okay, so this all of this is needed to calculate the principal stress. Okay, now for the longitudinal direction stress. Okay, for the longitudinal direction stress, that is Fx. Right, we require the Fx stress that is in the longitudinal direction, this is what Fx is equals to P by A. We know it is P by, because it is in X direction, we will name it as X. And then this is your normal area, which is the 24 bars, right? 24 wires of 5 mm dia each. Okay, so we know as area of steel, we have to calculate this Px, which is not given to us. Px is not given to us, right? So we have to calculate Px. Now, how do we calculate this Px? Px can be calculated from this particular formula, right? We know stress in wires, which is given to us as 900. Stress in wires is equal to what? The force applied in the wires divided by area of the wires, total area of the wires, total cross-sectional area of the wires, right? So stress in the cable is equals to the force in the cable divided by area of total cross-sectional area of the cables. Okay. Now what is total cross-sectional area? We know they have given 24 into 5 mm dia, right? So 24 into what? Into pi by 4 into d square, right? So we will get what? We will get the total area AP by this particular formula. So we can calculate, it is coming as, okay, area, I think they have given to us, right? Area, is it given? No, it is not given. We have calculated, it is come as 471.24. Okay, so this is calculated and substituted here into FP, because we need PX. So this AP will go on the other side. So AP into FY, not FY, it is FP. Okay, FP is given to us, that is 900, right? 900. So you can multiply 471 into 900, right? You can multiply 471 by 90 into 900. That will give you the pre-stressing force in the cable in the X direction. Pre-stressing force in the cable in the X direction. So once you know this particular Px, you can calculate now Fx. Fx can be calculated. Px is known. AP is also known. AP is known. We have calculated, right? It is 471, which we have calculated in the X direction. So direct stress can be calculated 424.12 into 10 power 3 divided by, okay, this is not AP. We do not take the area of steel over here. We are calculating the stress in the concrete, okay, in the total section in the X direction. So we have to take the cross-sectional area, the total cross-sectional area we have to take. Okay, so here we do not have a rectangular section, we have an I section, and the total cross-sectional area of this section is also provided. Right, the total cross-sectional area is provided, capital A, which is given to us, no need of calculation. So this particular force divided by the total cross-section of the area, which is given to us as 55 into 10 power 3 mm square. Okay, so Px divided by cross-sectional area will give us the force, the stress in the X direction, that is 7.71. So we have calculated Fx. So is the calculation of Fx clear to you? Fx, how we have arrived at this Fx? I hope you have understood calculation of Fx. You can see the steps I have mentioned clearly on the screen. Okay, so I hope Fx is clear. If you didn't understand any of the steps, please let me know. Okay, Fx, we calculate first. To calculate Fx, let me summarize. You have to calculate area of the total area of cross-sectional area of the pre-stressing steel. Then multiply that by the given pre-stressing force. Sorry, not pre-stressing, pre-stress, that is total gear that is given. Multiply the cross-sectional area of the total steel by this FP. You will get the force in X direction. Then the force in X direction divide by the cross-sectional area of the beam. Total cross-sectional area of the beam, if you divide, you will get Fx. That is direct stress in the X direction. Now similarly, you have to calculate the stress in Y direction. You have to calculate the stress in Y direction, that is Fy. Right, Fy we need to calculate. So what is Fy? The vertical pre-stressing force P divided by B into spacing. B we know what is B. B is 80, which is the thickness of the web. I think it is 50, right? It is not 80, it is 50. So this is 50 into spacing is given as 150. This is 50 into 150. And this is what Py, that is pre-stressing force in the y direction. Pre-stressing force in the y direction. So pre-stressing force in y direction we can calculate by this we have to calculate for individual wire. Okay, this we have to calculate for a single wire because we are using spacing over here, right? We are using spacing, so use only individual wire, don't consider all the wires. Okay, so for individual wire we have to calculate the py. So how can you calculate py? Py is calculated by area of the steel. Okay, area of one cable, area of cross sectional area of one cable into the stress. Okay, into the stress in steel. So area of the cross sectional area of one cable is pi by 4 into 5 square, right? 5 mm dia they have mentioned 5 mm, meaning pi by 4 into 5 square into fp, that is 900, which is also given. So we can calculate py. Okay, once you calculate py, you can calculate fy by this formula. Fy can be calculated. Now we will substitute all these values. So py we have calculated 17.67 into 10 power 3, correct? 17 into 67 into 10 power 3 divided by 50, right? Which is the thickness of the web into spacing, which is given as 150. So this particular value we have got as 2.35 Newton per mm square. So now we have calculated Fx, we have calculated Fy. Now what is needed? What else is needed for us now? Next, after you calculate Fx and Fy, to calculate the principal stresses, F max and F minimum. What else we need along with these two?
Shear stress or tau.
Correct. We need shear stress. We need shear stress. We need tau. We need tau V. Correct. If you have these three with you, if you have these three, you can easily calculate F max and F minimum. So we have calculated Fx, we have calculated Fy. What we need tau V or shear stress. Now for shear stress, we know this particular formula. For shear stress, we know this formula. Tau V is equals to Vu A y bar by Ib. Okay, so Vu, what is Vu? Shear force. Okay, ultimate shear force which you have to substitute, that is given to us as 80 kilonewton, which is given to us in the question, no problem. So Vu is there with us. Okay. Next, A into y bar is also given to us in the question. A into y bar is given as 468, right? 468 into 10 power 4. Okay, so this is also given. This moment of inertia I value is also given to us in the question, no problem. Now width, what you will consider? Width which you will consider here, B which will consider the flange or the web?
Webs.
Web, correct? Web. You have to consider the thickness of the web, okay, not the flange. Consider the thickness of the web, that is given as 50. That is given as 50. Okay, so all the things we know in this particular formula we can substitute. Make sure you substitute properly by while taking care of the units. Okay, take care of the units. So 80 kilonewton hence into 10 power 3 to convert it into newtons. Okay, and this is given as it is. You can substitute. This is in mm, right? And this is also given mm raised to 4 and 50 mm. Okay, so you can substitute all. And after substitution, you can check that the value of tau V, it is coming as 3.96 Newton per mm squared, 3.96 Newton per mm squared. Okay, now we have calculated all the things that are required for the calculation of principal stresses. This is the formula which we use for calculation of principal stresses, that is maximum and minimum. So if you use plus, it will be maximum, right? And plus indicates your compressive stresses. And if you substitute minus, and if you get a minus answer, it is denoted tensile stresses. Okay, so here you can see Fx plus Fy by 2 plus or minus square root of Fx minus Fy by 2 the whole square plus tau V square. Okay, so we can substitute Fx, Fy and tau V. All the things are known. We have substituted. We have got the maximum principal stress as 9.81 Newton per mm squared. Similarly, only minus sign will come here. All the things are same. So F minimum has come as 0.24 Newton per mm squared. So this is how you can calculate when you have been given with a I section. Okay, when they give you an I section, you can easily calculate all the principal stresses, that is maximum and minimum. Okay, so don't worry about the cross-sectional area, right? If they tell you, yeah, in this particular A and Y bar, don't worry, they will give you this particular directly value, or they will tell you to calculate at the neutral axis. Okay, at the neutral axis, what will be the area if you want to calculate at the neutral axis? Here, if you want to calculate, if this is your plane of interest, this is what you have to consider: the area, the total area you have to consider this as one section, and then this you divide your particular I-beam into two parts, and you can calculate the area. Similarly, find the CG of this particular area. Find the CG of this particular area. It will be somewhere here. CG. This will be your Y bar. Y bar. Okay, so V will be given to you, A and Y bar. I have told you how to calculate, divided by IB. So moment of inertia, you know how to calculate. You have calculated previously in this particular subject also. So you know how to calculate I. And B, which you have to consider, this particular B, where your plane of interest is. This particular B, that is nothing but here, which is 50. Okay, so B you can calculate, and hence you can substitute and calculate. So remaining things are very easy. Remaining things, Fx, Fy are easy. No need of worrying regarding the section. Whatever is the section, do not worry. You can easily calculate Fx and Fy. The main thing that is here, you have to calculate this tau V, which deals with your area and Y bar. Okay, so make sure you calculate properly using in your calculator. You have to make sure you have to substitute and calculate properly. So this is an example regarding I section. So I hope this numerical is clear. If you have any doubts, you can ask. Is it clear, guys? No problem. Shall we move on to the next one? ಏನಾಯ್ತ್ರಿ ಇವತ್ತು ಯಾರು ರಿಪ್ಲೈ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ? Why is everyone silent today? Okay, so
Sir, ಇದು theory behind these problems ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಸರ್.
ಏನ್ರಿ ಥಿಯರಿ?
ಹಾ ಸರ್, theory behind these problems.
Okay. Yeah, so you can go through later on.
Yeah, the recorded videos, yes.
You can go through, you will understand why we are doing this and how we can, why and how we can do this. Okay, so moving on to the next numerical, 7th numerical. So here, you can see the horizontal pre-stress, meaning in the horizontal direction at the centroid of the concrete of a rectangular section. Okay, rectangular section we have, and the pre-stress is applied where? At the centroid of the concrete beam. Okay, is 7 Newton per mm square. So Fx is directly given to us. Fx is given. Okay, the shear force is 70 kilonewton. Shear force is given to us. Okay, calculate the maximum tensile stress, maximum principal tensile stress. We have to calculate the maximum principal tensile stress, that is F minimum we have to calculate. So F maximum will give you compressive stresses, F minimum will give you tensile stresses. So I have to use F minimum formula. Okay, F minimum. What is the vertical pre-stress required to eliminate this principal tensile stress? This is the second part of your question, wherein we have to find what is the value of Fy. What is the value of Fy required to nullify this particular F minimum, to nullify F minimum. So without this Fy, when we calculate, in the first case, when we calculate by taking Fy as 0, we will arrive at some F minimum value. Next, in the second case, what we have to do, we have to calculate the value of Fy required to make this F minimum is equals to 0. Okay, so this is the problem statement which is given to us. Okay, so along with this cross-sectional area is given to us 120 by 250, that is area is equals to 30,000 mm squared. Okay, so next, as it is, we have to calculate what? We have to calculate maximum principal stress tensile. We have to calculate. For this, we need tau v. For this, we need tau v. Okay, so it is a rectangular section, and we need at the centroid, that is at the neutral axis. So this is your stress distribution. In this format, your stress distribution will be there. And this can be found out by two formulas. You can use the general formula. This is VUAY by IB, or you can go by this shorter or a simpler formula, which will give you the same answer. Okay, 1.5 VU by BD. So we will use this particular formula, which is for rectangular section. You can apply this particular formula only when it is a rectangular section and when we want to find the maximum tensile stress. Okay, sorry, the maximum shear stress at this particular neutral axis. Okay, so this cannot be applied in all cases. This is for a rectangular section and at the neutral axis. Okay, so we will substitute 1.5 as it is. VU they have given to us, right? VU they have given to us directly, that is 70 kilonewton, 70. So this should not be multiplied here. They have directly given us 70. So directly multiply 70 into 10 power 3 divided by B into D. What is the cross-sectional area? 120 into 250. Okay, so if they mention to use the ultimate, so usually what you have to do, you have to take what VU, that is your ultimate shear force. Ultimate shear force is what? 1.5 into V, right? Multiply that by the factor of safety. But here, since they have directly given, we will not multiply. We will take whatever they have given directly as VU. We will consider that itself as VU, and we have substituted here. So again, do not multiply that by the factor of safety. Okay, so tau v we have calculated by using this particular easier or the shorter formula 1.5 into VU by BD. So VU by BD, what we call usually this particular term, what we call it as tau average. Tau average. Okay, so 1.5 into tau average will give you the shear stress in a rectangular section, maximum shear stress, that is M max, tau max in a rectangular section. Similarly, for a circular section, it will be, instead of 1.5, it will be 4 by 3. I think it is 4 by 3, correct? 4 by 3 into tau average. Okay, so depending upon the section, you can, this particular term, this particular constant changes, Okay, so here we are dealing with rectangular section, hence we are using 1.5. 1.5 tau average, that is VU by BD. So we have got the value as 3.5 Newton per mm squared. Okay, so moving on. Once we know this, we can calculate your principal tensile stress, that is F minimum. And we know when we want to calculate minimum, we have to use minus sign. So Fx plus Fy by 2, that is 7 plus 0 by 2 minus square root of Fx minus Fy by 2, 7 minus 0 by 2 plus tau v squared, that is 3.5 squared. So once you calculate this, F minimum we have got as minus 1.44 Newton per mm squared. Okay, minus 1.44 Newton per mm squared. Okay. So the next thing, this is the first case wherein we were told to calculate the maximum principal tensile stress. This is the first case. So we are done with the first case. Now moving on to the second case, wherein they have told us to calculate what? To calculate Fy. To calculate the vertical stress that is required, that is nothing but Fy, vertical pre-stress is Fy, required to make F minimum 0, So this particular F minimum formula we have written as it is, and we have equated it to 0, that is F minimum is equals to 0. Okay, so Fy we need to calculate, hence we have kept Fy as it is. So Fx plus Fy by 2 minus square root of Fx minus Fy by 2 the whole square plus 3.5 square. Okay, so this is the thing that you have to do. You have to equate this to 0. Right, you have to equate it to 0, and you have to calculate for Fy. So this particular term I have taken on the other side of the equal to sign. I have taken it on the other side. So here Fx, 7 plus Fy by 2 is equal to square root of 7 minus Fy by 2 the whole square plus 3.5 square. So you can solve this. I hope you are able to solve this. Manually you can solve, or you can use a calculator and directly solve this. So after solving, this particular value of Fy is equal to 1.75 Newton per mm squared. So what this signifies is, if you apply a vertical pre-stress to this concrete beam, to this particular concrete beam, if you apply a vertical pre-stress of 7.5 Newton per 1.75 Newton per mm squared, there will be no tensile stresses generated in the cross section. There will be no tensile stresses that is equal to 0. Okay, so along with your horizontal stresses, along with your horizontal stress, you have to apply some amount of vertical stress to nullify your tensile stress. Okay, so this is Fx. So this is P. This is P in horizontal direction, and this is P in the vertical direction. So P by the cross-sectional area, will give you your Fi, not the cross-sectional area. P by what? P by B into spacing will give you Fy. And Fx is, we know Fx is nothing but P by that is PH by the cross-sectional area, PH by cross-sectional area, that is this cross-sectional area. Okay, so this is your 7th numerical which we have solved. If you have any doubts, please let me know. I hope you have understood. Okay, so moving on to the next numerical. So I hope you are following. So if you feel I'm going fast, please feel free to let me know. I will slow down. Okay, so is the example visible on your screen? Are you able to read? Is the font clear?
Yes, sir.
So can you please read the example for me? Problem statement.
A concrete beam having a rectangular section 150 mm wide and 300 mm deep is pre-stressed by a parabolic cable having an eccentricity of 100 mm at the center of span, reducing to 0 at the supports. The span of the beam is 8 meters. The beam supports a live load of 2 kN per meter. Determine the effective force in the cable to balance the dead and live loads on the beam. Estimate the principal stresses at the support section.
Okay, thank you. So here we have a rectangular section. Okay, so our calculation will be easier whenever you have a rectangular section. So we have a rectangular section, and they have told us to determine the effective force in the cable that is required to balance the dead load and the live loads on the beam. So here this particular word balance is coming, so we can think that we require our load balancing concept over here, load balancing. So you can see here using load balancing concept. So this part is the solution. From here the solution starts. Okay, so the span of the beam is 8 meters and the eccentricity is 100 mm. Okay, and the cross section of the beam is 150 by 300. 150 by 300. Eccentricity is 100 mm. Span of the beam is 8 meters. Okay, so first what we need to determine is, this particular effective force P. What we call as that effective force is termed as P. Then they have given to us live load of 2 kilonewton. They have not given us the dead load. Dead load is not given, live load is given. So we have to calculate dead load first. So the first step is calculation of dead load. So you can see the self weight of the beam is calculated. So cross-sectional area 0.5 into 0.3 into density of concrete. Cross-sectional area into density of concrete, that is equal to 1.08 kilonewton per meter. So this is your dead load which we have calculated. To this dead load, if you add your live load, which is 2 kilonewton, okay, so we will get at your total load that is coming on your beam. Live load plus dead load, that is 3.08 kilonewton per meter is the total load coming on the beam. Okay, so we need to balance this total load. We need to find out the force, effective pre-stressing force P required to balance this load that is coming on the beam. So we have been given with effective eccentricity, that is 100 mm. Okay, 100 mm, this is considered as W, and if eccentricity we will consider as E. Okay, eccentricity E. Okay, coming to load balancing concept, I hope you recall some of the concept from what we have learned in the load balancing, wherein we this is what, this is P into E, what is called as balancing moment, right? This is the moment that is generated because of the pre-stress, right? Pre-stress, eccentric pre-stress, that is equated, this particular moment generated by the pre-stress, eccentric pre-stress is equated to your balancing moment, that is equated to your balancing moment, that is calculated as WL square by 8, WL square by 8. Okay, so here it is a parabolic cable, you can read it is a parabolic cable, and whenever it is a parabolic cable, this is your balancing moment which is generated. Balancing moment, this is your parabolic cable, and this applies what, a upward force. Whenever we apply a pre-stress, this cable applies a vertical force to your concrete. So this particular force can be analyzed as a UDL, can be analyzed as a UDL. Okay, so this particular vertical force can be analyzed as a UDL. So that value is WL squared by 8, WL squared by 8. So here P into E is equals to WL squared by 8. You can see W, that is 3.08. L is nothing but 8 meters, right? 8 meters length or span of your beam divided by 8. Okay, so equate these two by load balancing concept. Okay, and P you can calculate. Now all the things are known, only unknown here you can see is P. Okay, so P is equals to 246.4 kilonewton. So we have calculated P. Okay, so once P is known, next thing that you have to calculate is what? We have to calculate Fx, we have to calculate Fy, we have to calculate tau v. So once you know all these three, we can substitute in our formula and you can get your maximum and minimum principal stresses. So to calculate all these things, we need to consider this particular slope of the beam, because we have your parabolic cable, right? And we want to find out at the support section. So you can read, we have to estimate the principal stress at the support section. Okay, at the support section. So this, consider this as your beam at the left end. Okay, at the left end we have this parabolic cable which is going, this is our parabolic cable. We need to find this, this is your cable which is having a pre-stressing force of P. Okay, so you can see this is your pre-stressing force P in the cable, and this is your horizontal component of this particular force PH, and then this is your vertical component PV. Okay, I hope you recall this, and this is the angle which is theta. Okay, and this is your angle theta at the support we are considering. So theta formula, we know it is 4E by L. This is when you have a parabolic cable and at the support, slope of the cable at the support. Whenever it is a parabolic cable, this is the theta formula which you have to use, that is 4 into E by L. So 4 into E, which is an eccentricity 100 divided by L, that is 8,000, okay, in mm, 8,000 in mm, 8 meters they have converted to mm. Okay, so this is equal to 1 by 20. This is equal to 1 by 20. So theta is equal to 1 by 20. So we have calculated theta. Now we have to calculate this vertical component, PV. Okay, vertical component of pre-stressing force, that is P into theta. P into theta is our vertical component PV. I hope you recall, we have done this yesterday. Okay, we have to neglect this particular sign over here. Sign is there, sign theta, right? We have neglected this theta. We have neglected that particular term. We have only considered theta because your slope is a very small value. It is a very small value. Okay, so vertical component is 12.32 kilonewton. Vertical component is 12.32, and the reaction that is at the support. Reaction at the support is what? The total load W into L by 2. Right, so this is the reaction RA at the support, right, which is acting in the upward direction. And this particular vertical force, you can see it is acting in the downward direction, right? It is acting in the downward direction. So this is considered as plus and this is considered as minus. So both these are at the support. Okay, both of these are at the support. So reaction here is, our reaction RA is here, which is acting in the upward direction, and this PV is acting in the downward direction in the same plane. Okay, in the same plane. Okay, so you can see this is plus 12.32, which is the support, and we have minus 12.32, which is your vertical component of your pre-stressing force. So what is the total answer? It is equal to 0, right? They are cancelling each other. They are cancelling each other, so it is 0. So the net shear force at support is equal to 0. Okay, so I hope you have understood this step. So we have got the net shear force V is equals to 0. So here in this case it is 0. It is not 0 always. Okay, in this particular case it is 0. Okay. So next, horizontal pre-stress at the support. Horizontal pre-stress at the support. This is what? This is what? This is Fx. Fx is what? P. Okay, P by A. P by A. P is what? The pre-stressing force which you have calculated 246.4 kilonewton, right? 246.4 kilonewton. So multiply by 1000. So this is your pre-stressing force P divided by the cross-section area of your beam. Cross-section area of your beam. So Fx we have calculated. Now if you want to calculate your shear stress, if you want to calculate your F max and F minimum, F maximum and F minimum. So we know that it requires Fx, it requires Fy, and it requires tau v. So Fx we have calculated. Okay, it is 5.5. Fy is 0 because there is no vertical pre-stressing which is applied. So this is 0. And this term is also equal to 0. Why is this term equal to 0? Because your V is 0. Because V is 0, your tau V is automatically equal to 0. Tau V is equal to what? 1.5 VU by BD. Correct? VU by BD. So here if VU is 0, V is 0, this entire term will become 0. Hence tau V is equal to 0. And if these two are 0, your F max and F minimum is directly equal to Fx. Okay, hence they have not calculated, they have directly written principal stress at support is directly equal to Fx, that is 5.5 Newton per mm squared. Okay, because it is plus, it is compression. Okay, so this is how you can calculate in this particular numerical. We have learned how to calculate the effective pre-stressing force required, effective pre-stressing force that is required to balance your dead load and live load. This is the first thing that we calculated. Next, we have learned how to estimate the principal stresses at the support section. Okay, so I hope this numerical is clear. If you have any doubts, please let me know. If you didn't understand any step, especially this slope calculation, if you have not understood, let me know. Okay, so moving on to your next. So we will solve this one and we will wind up the session. So here in this particular numerical, you can see third example, a post tension beam of rectangular cross section. Okay, very easy, no problem. We have a rectangular cross section, 200 mm wide and 400 mm deep. It is 10 meter long and carries an applied load. Applied load meaning live load. It carries a live load of 8 kilonewton per meter. 8 kilonewton per meter. This is what? This is your applied load. Uniformly distributed on the beam. Okay. The effective pre-stressing force in the cable P is given to us. Capital P value is given as 500 kilonewton. Okay. The cable is parabolic with eccentricity, 0 eccentricity at the supports. Okay, it is parabolic with 0 eccentricity at the support and maximum eccentricity of 140 mm at the center of the span. Okay, what we need to calculate here, we need to calculate the principal stress at the support. Principal stress at the support, okay, that is easy, no problem. What will be the magnitude of the principal stresses at the support in the absence of the pre-stress, Now, in the second case, what you have to calculate, we have to calculate the principal stresses when P is equal to 0 in the absence of your pre-stress, right? In the absence of your pre-stress. So this is our second case. So this is the problem statement which they have given. Now let us look into the solution. So your self weight is calculated as 1.92. Okay, it is calculated, it is not given. So how can you calculate cross sectional area of the beam into the density of concrete? That is 0.2 into 0.4. That is the cross section area, right? 0.2 into 0.4 into 24. Okay, so we have got the self weight. This is the live load which is applied load, that is 8 kilonewton per meter. Next, pre-stressing force P is given, that is 500 kilonewton. Okay, eccentricity is 140 mm. Length of the beam is 10 meters. Okay. Now, as I've told you, the slope of the cable at support, when we have a parabolic cable is equal to 4E by L, 4E by L. Okay, it is equal to 4E by L, 4 into 140 by L. Okay, so this is in radians, 0.056 is the theta value which we have calculated, 4E by L. Now, after you calculate, next calculate the vertical and the horizontal component, right? It has a horizontal component, it has a vertical component. So we are concerned with this particular vertical component, which is P sine theta, right? But since this theta is very small, we can neglect sine, and we can consider PV as P theta. Okay, so P is given as 500 into theta, which is 0.056. That is equal to 28 kilonewton. So PV we have calculated. Now, horizontal component you can also calculate if you want. Horizontal component PH is equals to what? P cos theta, right? P cos theta. But since theta is very small, we can directly consider this as P itself. We can consider this as P itself. So it is actually cos theta, right? Cos theta. And cos 0 is what? Cos 0 is equal to 1. At cos 0 is equal to 1. Hence, you can directly write it as P. Hence, they have written it as 500 kilonewton as it is. Okay. So PH and PV we have calculated horizontal, and vertical we have calculated. Now, the maximum shear at support due to loads, right? We have to calculate the reaction RA. We have to calculate the reaction RA. So that will be equal to what? That will be equal to WL by 2. WL by 2. So what is W? The total load acting on the beam. It is the summation of these two. It is 8 plus 1.92. 8 plus 1.92 is 9.92. 9.92 here, 9.92. Correct. W is 9.92 into L, that is length of the beam, divided by 2. That is equal to 49.6 kilonewton. Okay, 49.6 kilonewton. So here add the support. So this consider this diagram. This is your support, left support. Okay, so this is the reaction which is acting, which is 49.6 kilonewtons. And you have your vertical component of your pre-stress which is acting, that is PV, which is acting in the downward direction, which is equal to what? Which is equal to 28 kilonewtons. Okay, so this we will consider as positive because it is acting upward, and this we will consider as negative. So 49.6 minus 28 will give you what? 21.6. This is what the net shear force, that is equal to V. Okay, that is equal to V we are considering. Now, we know the shear stress formula tau is equals to 1.5 V into V by BD. 1.5 V by BD. So V is 21.6 into 10 power 3 divided by B into D. That is your cross-sectional area of your beam. That is 200 into 400. So tau V we have got as 0.405 Newton per mm squared. So shear stress is calculated. Next thing, direct stress, that is Fx. Direct stress is equals to P, right? P by A. So P is given to us, cross-sectional area also we know. So P by A is 6.25. Next, after this is done, we can calculate the maximum and minimum principal stresses. Okay, so Fx plus Fy by 2 plus or minus square root of Fx minus Fy by 2 the whole square plus tau V square. So you can substitute in that formula of maximum and minimum principal stresses, and we can get that the principal stress is in compression, it is 6.275 Newton per mm squared, and minus 0.025 mm. Hence, because it is minus, it is okay. It is minus, hence it is tension. Okay, this is the first case. Okay, this is the first case. In the second case, what they had told us, in the absence of pre-stress, meaning your p value is 0, p value is 0. Hence, if p is equals to 0, automatically fx will be 0 and fy will also be equal to 0. Okay, so only term that will be remaining is tau v, right? Only tau v will be remaining in this year in your maximum and minimum principal stress formula. Okay, so calculating the maximum and minimum principal stress, that is equal to your maximum shear stress, directly equal to, right? Only term that is remaining here is tau v. As I've told you, only tau v will be remaining. So tau v we had calculated. Where is tau v calculation? Tau v we have calculated. No, we have not calculated, right? So tau v is equals to 1.5 v by bh. 1.5 v by bh. So here 3.2, that is equal to 1.5 into v by b into d. So 1.5 into v, that is 49.6. Okay, so here the thing is, this we have to, vertical shear stress is what? V is vertical shear stress. Vertical shear is 49.6 kilonewton. What it is? 49.6. Here you can see this is 49.6. That is the reaction. This vertical component of your pre-stress 28, which we had calculated, is not existing, right? Because there is no pre-stress P which is acting, right? Because there is no pre-stress P which is acting, there will be no vertical component, there will be no horizontal component. Okay, so this V will be directly equal to 49.6, correct? There will be no plus and minus, there will be no considering of your net shear force, because this particular vertical and horizontal component of your pre-stress will not exist. Okay, so V, that is shear stress, is directly equal to 49.6. So 49.6 into 10 power 3 divided by the cross-sectional area, okay, into 1.5. That is 3 by 2. So that is written over here, 3 by 2 into 49.6 into 10 power 3 divided by the cross-sectional area. So we have got the maximum shear stress, that is 0.93 Newton per mm squared. 0.93 Newton per mm squared. So this is how you can solve your second case. Okay, second case, just neglect whatever terms you are taking into consideration with P. Okay, all the terms with P will become 0. The steps will remain same. Only whatever the terms are there with P, they will become 0, and you can calculate the maximum and minimum principal stresses. Okay, so this is how you can calculate your seventh. I think we are in seventh, right? We are in seventh numerical. So this is how you can solve your seventh numerical. So we have calculated the maximum and minimum principal stresses at the supports, and also when your P is equals to 0, we have calculated the principal stresses. Okay, so if you have any doubts in this numerical, you can let me know if you have any doubts. I hope this numerical is clear. It is easy. I hope you have understood. Okay, so with this, I think we can end your session here. In the next class, we are left out with this very interesting numerical, which is dealing with a cantilevered, cantilevered beam. We have a cantilevered beam. This is a very interesting numerical. We will do this in the next class, and after this, we will head on to the next section of your fourth module. Okay, so if you have any doubts with today's session, you are free to ask, and meanwhile, you can give your attendance. So give your attendance, and meanwhile, if any part you did not understand, you can let me know here, or you can let me know in the group, WhatsApp. You can personally let me know. I will try to solve your doubt. Okay, so if you have typed in your attendance, you are free to exit the session.